Let's continue. Let's continue with 7 and 8. Why both? Well, because they are both in the same paragraph. It's a style which popular for thousands of years. Stop. The general meaning can be expressed even not knowing these words. Es un estilo el cual we can say fue popular por miles de años. When there are two gaps in the same sentence, one is always going to help you to indicate the meaning of the other. So when you're doing the first one and it's difficult, the reason is that you've got to do the second one in order to do the first one. The same happens here, and we specifically know it because it's a verb, and we know that in sentences, verbs are very important. When we were getting the whole meaning in Spanish, remember that we translated it as fue. Fue un estilo el cual fue popular durante millones de años. But was is not part of the choice. We have held, stood, remained, and lasted. Probably you ruled out these two because it sounds incorrect, which held popular, which stood popular, and if you've done it, you were correct. It's between remained and lasted. Let's begin with D, lasted, because it's the terminology that we are more related to. Its popularity lasted thousands of years. Su popularidad duró miles de años, but we cannot say which lasted popular, el cual duró popular. So it is wrong. The correct one is remained, which means permaneció, el cual permaneció popular durante miles de años. Now we go to exercise 7, and you will realize that the correct one is obviously. Why? Because it's conveying a specific meaning, and this meaning is given clues in the text. Which are the clues in the text? Well, that shoes of this type have turned up in archaeological excavations and have been worn until the 1950s. So it's obviously a style which remained popular for thousands of years. The others do not convey this meaning. Before the end, let's go through the most important advices. Remember, it's very important to see if the word belongs to a combination of words or it's a single one. In this case, it was a combination because believed belonged to the personal impassive. In 3, because it belonged to an expression. Exercise 5 was a phrasal verb. It's a single word, the context will give us the meaning, like in exercise 2, stuffed. However, we must be careful because in exercise 4, it seemed as it was an individual one, but due to the word which was placed before it, it was a combination of words. Research helped us to know which was the correct one. There is an unknown word. Remember, we leave it to the end, and according to the circumstances, we use it or not. But if you think that these are not correct, never be afraid to choose the word you do not know. If there are two gaps in the same sentence, remember, you've got to do both at the same time and decide which is the one that is going to help you to decide which is the correct one of the other exercise. In first certificate in B2, there is usually two obvious distractors that when you fill in the gap, you know they are wrong. In this case, we've seen it with presently, immediately, and held and stood. When it's a single word, you've got to get the meaning from the context. So that part is very helpful if you translate it into your own language in order to guess what the meaning may be. Once we know which one it may be, then, only then, we go to the vocabulary. It's a language you dominate. It's the Spanish language, so use it whenever it is useful to do so. Hope I've helped you understand the reasoning behind this exercise, the way you have to think in order to do it correctly. And remember, dominating this exercise is all about practice and technique. Bye bye.